Today we're going to solve for the sides and the angles of right triangles. Some of the word problems you're going to see will refer to either the angle of elevation or the angle of depression. The angle of elevation, if this is our right triangle here, the angle of elevation is this angle. Notice that in order to create that angle from the horizontal, we would move in an upward direction, hence the word elevation. So the angle of depression is not actually in the triangle. It's also made from a horizontal, but from that horizontal. And there's the angle of depression. Notice how that is made by moving in a downward direction from the horizontal. So some of the word problems you will see will ask you to solve for the side of a right triangle. Now you'll be given an angle and the measure of one other side. So let's say this angle here is 32 degrees and that the hypotenuse measures 17 centimeters, and we are asked to find that leg. You'll notice that we are given the hypotenuse and we are asked to find the side opposite 32. So the trig ratio that has to do with the opposite side and the hypotenuse would be sine. So we set up an equation. The sine of 32 degrees is equal to x over 17. We'll solve this by cross multiplying. We can put this over 1. X times 1 is x. Now 32 degrees is definitely not one of our special angles, so what we're going to do is calculate this using our calculator. And you should get approximately 9 centimeters as your final answer. That's if we round to the nearest whole number. Now when you do your work, make sure that you draw your diagram, that you've set up your initial equation, you show that you've cross-multiplied, and then you write your final answer complete with the units. The second case would be solving for an angle. Here's our right triangle. Let's say we're asked to find theta, and we know that this side measures 5 feet, and this side measures 9 feet. Now we have the side opposite and adjacent to the angle, so we know that this must be a tangent function. So we write our equation. The tangent of theta is equal to 5 over 9. Now the way we isolate theta is by using our inverse trig. Now again, this is not going to be one of our special angles, so we're going to use our calculator. And we end up with 29.1 degrees, and that's rounded to the nearest tenth. So when you're solving for an angle, make sure that you show your diagram, you show your initial equation, you show that you used the inverse function, and that you've written your angle complete with units. And here is our summary. Remember that you're going to draw your diagram, and you're going to label with the information that they give you. You determine if you're going to use sine, cosine, or tangent, and then you write down an equation involving sine, cosine, and tangent. You're going to cross-multiply if you're solving for a side, and you're going to use inverse trig if you're solving for an angle. Be sure that you show that step. And you will be using your calculator, but just for the final answer. And you want to make sure before you start these problems that your calculator is in degree mode. Almost all the questions, the measurements will be given in degrees.